Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. I'm Allison Gill.
And I'm Dana Goldberg, and this is Beans Talk.
Hey, what's up, my friend? Good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you too. We're in show 2 of our Public Beans Talk. I hope that you all enjoyed the first episode. We're going to be bringing these to you, I believe it's 5 days a week, in paired with our long beans. So hopefully you're joining us to both. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. We have a wonderful family, and we're happy you're part of it.
Yeah, and we had such an amazing good news submission sesh today on the Audio Daily Beans pod, especially with Giving Tuesday being today. I know people sent this, a lot of these submissions on Sunday, Monday, but Tuesday is Giving Tuesday, and we have so many incredible organizations. Dana, actually, you have a list of really wonderful vetted organizations on your website, right?
I do. We've got, if you go to danagoldberg.com and you hit nonprofits, these are just a fraction of the organizations I work with and I've raised millions of dollars for over the years. So if you're not sure, because I know some people are like, well, I don't know if this is a legit organization. I promise you these are. If there's something on there that sparks your interest or resonates with you, click on it, find a way to donate. Otherwise, there's so many things that you can do to give back today, even if it's going and volunteering somewhere. There's food places that you can, go help prepare food for the homeless or houseless. Allison, I don't even know what the right term is these days.
Unhoused.
I believe unhoused. Thank you very much. I always try to be inclusive in my speech. There's so many ways you can get back on Giving Tuesday. So find something that resonates with you.
Yes. One way not to do it is to call the governor of Minnesota the R word. That is not something we generally do on Giving Tuesday. But yeah, so many amazing organizations that you work for and have fundraised for over the years. And I'm looking forward to giving a bunch of money to several organizations today.
Yeah.
As we talked about yesterday, I'm going to be donating all my veterans benefits, not directly, but the equivalent of my benefits to as many organizations as I can that support all of the people and groups and communities that this administration is going after. So thanks to everybody who wrote in for the good news submission and talked about all the wonderful charities and Patagonia's 100-mile hike that they're doing to San Francisco.
In drag.
Incredible.
We can't forget that part. Patagonia is hiking 100 miles to their last show in San Francisco in complete gorgeous drag, by the way. If you don't follow Patagonia on social media, you should do it immediately, if not sooner. And 8 different outdoor organizations she's raising money for. So if you want to have that be your Giving Tuesday, if you want to have the Human Rights Campaign, something that's, even if it's little, you don't have to donate a lot. Small donations add up to a big difference, especially with these organizations.
Yeah. And speaking of dressing in drag, so we did the whole story over on the Audio Beans podcast about Kash Patel being under investigation by Rep. Jamie Raskin and House Judiciary Committee Democrats who don't have subpoena power but really want to look into what exactly he's doing with the plane, the FBI Gulfstream, where he's taking it to go to the boondoggle ranch with Bubba and his girlfriend to a wrestling thing in Pennsylvania.
So gross. Taxpayer money, everyone. That's where it's going.
He actually, there's video of him. I think that Ron Filipkowski unearthed it over on the Midas Touch Network of him complaining about Jim Comey taking a jet or Chris Wray taking the jet. It's $15,000 every time that thing takes off. And Andy McCabe and I counted all of the publicly known trips, personal private vacations that he's taken since he's been director of the FBI, which has only been like 8 months. He's taken like 18 personal trips on our taxpayer jet.
That's almost as many vacations as J.D. Vance has taken since he's been the vice president of the United States. I think he's been on vacation more than he's actually worked, to be honest with you.
Does the couch count as a vacation for J.D. Vance?
I think that's an extracurricular activity. I don't know if he had to pay for that or not. Is it couch prostitution?
Those are extramarital activities.
Couch sex worker? We don't know. It should be legalized. Doesn't matter.
So the reason that I wanted to bring this up is because we already covered that part of the story, but there was a part of the story we didn't cover on the Audio Beans podcast, and it has to do... Dana, take it away.
Okay, so I know we started with this when speaking of drag. This is more like cosplay, and it's cosplay for Kash Patel. So listen, a report actually came out today about... This is what Kash Patel was saying, according to Alpha 99. Okay, Alpha 99. FBI Director Kash Patel arrived at Provo Airport in Utah. This was September 11th of this year, 2025. Now, Alpha 99 said that after his plane landed, FBI Director Kash Patel would not get off the plane, okay, without an FBI raid jacket. Now, this is FBI personnel had to and literally stop and ask with a round to find an FBI raid jacket. Kash Patel wouldn't get off the plane without it. Now, they needed a medium-sized one because, hey, nothing against short kings. Kash Patel's not the biggest dude in the FBI. So they had to find a medium one because all they had were like extra large and large raid jackets. That's all they could find. So according to Alpha 99, FBI personnel searching for a medium-sized FBI raid jacket that would fit Kash Patel, they finally found one. The jacket happened to come from a female FBI special agent. Again, clothes should be gender neutral. However, when you're Kash Patel, I'm sure there's something emasculating about having to wear a woman's FBI raid jacket. So then he gets
It was so emasculating, Dana, that he wanted patches. He's
Yes.
like, I need to get patches on this thing.
Because there's two places where there were not patches on her jacket. So he literally would not leave the aircraft until those two patches were borrowed from the SWAT team. These are SWAT patches from other agents. He made them go take them off their jacket and bring them to him. This was all around the Charlie Kirk thing, by the way, at the airport. He would not get off the plane without it. Because apparently the jacket for him makes the job. It's not the actual job.
And what's interesting is that usually, because I asked, Pete and Andy and Asha, it's so weird that I know people from the FBI.
I love it. I love that your pals are FBI. I love that I've shared stages with these guys. They're pretty amazing. And girls.
Yeah, it was kind of odd when one time a deputy assistant associate attorney general called me and asked me if I had the former director FBI's number, and I did. Like I don't know if you all knew who I was in college. I did a lot of acid. Let's just leave it at that. It's just really weird that I'm really.
Do you remember who you were in college?
With a bunch of FBI. I know exactly. I was very crunchy. I went to Northern Arizona University. I built a log cabin for credit. Damn it. But anyway. It's just a weird thing that I hang out with all of these amazing former FBI folks. But I asked them, and they're like, you're supposed to just wear a suit. If you're the director of the FBI, you're supposed to just wear a suit.
Yeah.
So he needs
to think he's on the ground doing the work.
Yeah, and speaking of unsat people, Hegseth and his post, we covered it a little bit when we talked about on the Daily Beans, on the Long Beans. That's our nickname for the audio podcast, is the Long Beans. He had in detail about the fact that the White House is now admitting that he ordered the second strike on that first boat, killing those two survivors, which is an absolute war crime. But what he did was he posted that Franklin the Turtle meme.
The inability for these people to do their jobs, first of all, but then the actual immaturity from them is just mind-blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he posted a meme. It's an AI generated meme. I can show it to you now. Here it is. It is Franklin the Turtle taking out quote unquote narco terrorists. But I have to tell you, the internet actually responded beautifully in fashion to this. We have Franklin goes to jail. Here's another one, Franklin on death row. And my favorite, Dana, Franklin goes to The Hague.
That's it. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That is my favorite.
And thank God that some people are using AI for good and some people are using memes for good. Obviously, there's a lot of nonsense going on out there, but it's when the internet comes in and brings some sort of levity to this nonsense, that's when I appreciate it the most.
Well, that's what's so spectacular about the young woman who's leading Governor Gavin Newsom's online comms team. Because, at first, the bait was set, right? And people on the right were like, look at this immature way of acting on the internet. And he's like, I am literally mocking how Donald Trump acts on the internet. But that kind of thing, to point out how ridiculous and immature they are, I just love that sort of satire kind of way of dealing with these people is just to mock how stupid and ridiculous they are. But I wanted to also show you something, Dana. A friend of mine who was in the military for a very long time and then served at Department of State shared with me the Department of Defense manual on the law of war. And what Hegseth did by ordering that second strike on ship, after the shipwreck, is literally an example they use of a war crime and an unlawful order. Look, I'm putting it up right here. This is from the manual from the Department of Defense. It says 18.3.2.1, clearly illegal orders to commit law of war violations. The requirement to refuse to comply with orders to commit law of war violations applies to orders to perform conduct that is clearly illegal or illegal orders that the subordinate knows are illegal. For example, and here's the example, orders to fire upon the shipwrecked would be clearly illegal. So it's the example that they use of a war crime.
That's incredible that they have this. I'm telling you, one day this fucking nonsense is going to be over. This madness is going to change. I don't know when the pendulum is going to swing back, but it is going to swing back. And all of these people, and I wish that they realized this and they would start to distance themselves. Trump may be protected by this corrupt Supreme Court with that bullshit, whatever privilege or whatever he's got. No one around him is. They are going to be tried for these crimes, and I cannot wait till this happens. It is more important than ever that we do not take our foot off the gas with the midterms. We've got a year from now to do it, and we have got to get some semblance back so we can get subpoena power back in our Congress so that we make sure that all these people can be held accountable. This is such bullshit, and I cannot wait for their time to come.
Yeah, and let me tell you, the congressional investigations, the flipping the House is almost more important because even though these subordinates like Hegseth, et cetera, don't have immunity like the president does because of the corrupt Supreme Court, he will pardon them if he hasn't already. True. I'm sure he's promised that he will pardon them. So the only way they're going to be held accountable is not criminally, unfortunately. And I know a lot of people say, what about The Hague? But we aren't a signatory on the Treaty for the International Criminal Court. They don't have jurisdiction over U.S. officials, so they actually can't be tried at The Hague. And we would need 67 senators to approve that, and they're not going to do that because they don't want to be hauled in and tried at The Hague either.
Right.
So really the only accountability that we're going to get, given the fact that Trump's immune, he's going to pardon everybody who isn't, and that we can't go to the International Criminal Court for this kind of thing. The only kind of accountability we're going to get is the truth through subpoenas, through congressional inquiries.
Yeah.
It's the best we're going to get. And that's why, for accountability for this administration, it's so important that we flip the House. And I am really looking forward to watching the results in Tennessee's 7th District.
Me too.
I
want to see how many points we take. I hope we flip it, but I also want to see if God forbid we don't flip the entire seat. I want to see how many percentage points that Trump lost in that district, because I think it's going to be a really big clue about how some of these other special elections are going to go, as well as obviously the midterms next November. This is Tennessee. This is deep red country, and Trump won this by 22 points. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, like you said, I'm going to be looking at the points, the swing. Yeah. We saw it earlier this year in Florida 1 and Florida 6. Those were won by 35, 40 points, like massive margins, but we made up like 26 and 30 points in those races.
Yeah.
And for a negative 22 point seat, a district, that Trump won by 22 points, for it to be considered a toss-up now, and for the polls to be within the margin of error, we're already winners. So, but I'm going to be watching those results with bated breath. Something else I wanted to point out today, I saw a post on social media about an organization. We didn't talk about this on the audio podcast, but there's an organization called markthespot.org.
Okay.
And I deign to say I loved this idea because of what it represents, but these are signs you can stick in the ground that mark where ICE kidnapped your neighbors.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And we have some photos of a couple of them that have been seen in the wild. These photos are from D.C., but I want to go get, I'm in San Diego, right?
There's a
15
lot
minutes
going on
from the
there.
border.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I would love to get a bunch of these, and I guess it's called markthespot.org. That's what it says on one of the signs. So I thought like that really hit me. I think that's a really interesting way for legally public kind of street art in resistance and good trouble. I think it's an incredible idea. And so I'm going to check that out.
Nice. One last thing before we get going on this episode of the Beans Talk. Trump's MRI happened. Supposedly it was a cardiovascular one with his heart, which he said was just normal. That's what they normally do for
in
the
his
president.
abdomen.
In his abdomen. That's not normal, by the way. But what was really bizarre is this thing on Air Force One. And was it Air Force One where this interview happened? Okay.
Right. Yeah. Because we talked a little bit about what he had said about his MRI, but we it's an audio podcast. We weren't able to show the video. But I mean, and we're going to play that in a second. But the things that he says lead me to believe that even though this doctor at the White House put out a statement saying it was of his abdomen and it's routine and everything's fine, if you listen to what he says, I am convinced it was a brain MRI. Watch.
Very much, everybody. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a rocky flight. We're going to get out of here before something happens. But they asked about my MRI. MRIs are very...
Governor Walz asked you to release the MRI findings.
Can you tell us what it was
Governor Walz, you mean the incompetent governor? So, if they want to release it, it's okay with me to release it. It's perfect.
What was the were they
It's like my phone call where I got impeached. It's absolutely perfect. So, if you want to hear about it, or if you want to release it, you want to have it released.
Yes,
News Nation, failing News Nation. News Nation is doing lousy, by the way. But if you want to have it released, I'll release it.
Can you tell us what they were looking at?
For what, releasing?
No. What part of your body was the MRI looking
I
at?
have no idea. It was just an MRI. What part of the body? It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing. Goodbye, everybody. You too.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I mean, he specifically said it wasn't for his brain.
Which means that because anything in denial is a confession. So there's that.
Yeah.
And then he was like, he literally, as you heard him say, the phone call, his MRI was as good as the phone call to Zelensky that he got impeached over. What the fuck kind of statement is that? He knows that call was impeachable. He knows that he committed an impeachable offense, high crime. The other thing that I find bizarre, and I don't want to overstep on this because I know that there are many ways that dementia and Alzheimer's shows its ugly head in people's lives. But I don't know if you all have noticed that like Trump is starting to be really hateful to the people around him that are supposed to be his supporters, like really hateful. He's also being more hateful to women. He's being more hateful to people like Tim Walz. You know who he wasn't hateful to? Mamdani.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of that person that is lashing out at all the people he's supposed to love and supposed to be near. And then the person he's supposed to hate comes into his home and he treats him like his firstborn. There's something going on in that man's brain that is not normal and it's not healthy, and more signs of him losing it and probably having a diagnosable dementia or Alzheimer's diagnosis, 100%. I'm not a doctor, but I think everyone watching this is seeing the signs of mental decline happen in front of our eyes.
Well, he keeps bragging about his cognitive test. That is a test to determine if you're suffering from dementia.
Yeah.
That is not a, like, sit down, little Johnny, let's test your IQ. No, that's not, doctors administer this test.
Nor do they have to administer it every, 4 months? How often is he taking this test?
We aren't trying to see if you can test out of college algebra, okay? We're checking if you can tell that that's a giraffe.
Yeah.
Okay. That is not a cognitive test. You can't ace it. And the fact that he took one and bragged about it, and then we learned later that he got an MRI right after that, and now he's saying it wasn't for his brain. I am telling you, it was for his brain. Those are my beans. That's my, wait, do I have a tinfoil hat? Yes.
Oh, mine's in the other room. I can't run and get it. There you go.
This is my tinfoil hat for today. It is 100% his brain. It's gotta be. And, for him to say, they asked him how it went and he said, it's perfect. And in his mind went, perfect. what else is perfect? My phone call to Zelensky. Let's see if I can work that into the discussion. And so he talks about that, the first phone call, like it's perfect. I don't know what part of my body it was for, but whatever part, it's perfect.
And let's say it was for his heart. Let's say it was cardiovascular. You're telling me, as the doctor said, it came out absolutely perfect when you have cankles the size of elephant feet, that everything's fine with your heart? What are you talking about?
Wouldn't you say, like, we know he has this other cardiovascular disease, and we did see signs of that in the MRI, but nothing to be alarmed about. Nothing, it hasn't progressed or whatever.
You would think so.
Anyway, I think it's his brain, but
yeah, I'm surprised. Listen,
you can't,
we all
and
have
you know
the
what?
same.
You can lie in your little doctor's thing, but you can't lie to the Grim Reaper and science.
Yeah, I hope I don't want to be that person, but my goodness, we are patient folk. We're a patient folk, aren't we? We are patient folk.
Having to have put up with this shit for the last 10 years? Yes, we are.
My God.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. There's going to be a lot of travel and things going on, so we might be coming to you from different areas with different backgrounds. I may not have my collection of tinfoil hats with me. We might have to make do on the road. I'm not quite sure how that'll work out yet, but we might not have any tinfoil hat theories that day. So I'm not really sure that I'll necessarily need one, but I just want everybody to be prepared for the eventuality of travel.
I've got one when I need it
between us.
Yep, I've got one when I need it. We both go into conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I have seen Dana's, and I cannot wait for everyone to.
It's going to come out sooner or later. It has to. Every once in a while, I go down a rabbit hole. It's not my fault.
No, it's and generally, usually, we're right, but it just feels like we're going a little off the deep end because of just the absolute superlative everything of this particular administration. Everything is unprecedented, right?
And
Everything
unprecedented.
I almost said that because it's just I'm so used to making that crack. Anyway, it's all amazing that you are watching this. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for listening to the Daily Beans podcast. Have a wonderful Giving Tuesday. Break a leg. I don't know what you say to somebody running for office. So I'm going to say break a leg.
Go kick some ass.
Go kick some ass to Afton Ben in Tennessee's 7th. Any final thoughts, my friend?
No, that's it. Tennessee 7, get out and vote. By the time you're watching this, I bet there's still time to get to the polls. Make it happen.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Again, we don't have any way to sign off from this show yet, so you hang up first.
No, you hang up.
No,
I love you more.
Hang up first.
No, I love you more.
No, I love you more.
No,
you
I love
hang
you
up
more.
First.
Everyone watching, okay. I love you more. Get out of here. I've been DG.
Thanks for watching Beans Talk.
Awkward. It's just awkward. It's like a first date, everyone. We got to go.
Bye.
Bye.
We're swearing. Daily Beans.